Alcoholism. Does it concern you and your genes? Alcoholism, or physical dependence on alcohol, is a disease that involves both genetic factors and environmental factors. According to the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, 15.1 million adults had an alcohol dependence in 2015. The percentage of inheritance ranges between 38% and 64%. There are about 12 SNPs that have been associated with the development of alcoholism. SNP RS1042173 affects the degree of craving for alcohol through the SLC6A4 gene. Additionally, the variation RS2232165 occurs on the GHSR gene, which produces higher amounts of the ghrelin hormone.
Our company's genetic test will be performed through the use of a SNP chip. Of the numerous genes that are associated with the development of alcoholism, this SNP chip test will focus on 12 genetic variations. These 12 SNPs impact various genes pertaining to both cognitive and bodily functions, which can determine how an individual reacts to the consumption of alcohol. There are 2 variations that are excellent indicators of an individual's susceptibility to developing alcohol dependence. The RS10042173 variation affects the SLC6A4 gene by lowering the production of the mood neurotransmitter serotonin in the brain, which results in a higher craving for alcohol. Similarly, the RS2232165 variation increases the risk of developing alcoholism if one has abnormal genotypes CT or TT. The gene affected by this variation is the GHSR gene that regulates ghrelin, a hormone that is involved with reward and pleasure in the hypothalamus, and in this case makes the carrier of this variation more susceptible to addictive behaviors such as alcohol addiction and overeating.
Genetic testing for alcohol dependence can help you decide whether you choose to drink. Knowing how your body responds to alcohol can be crucial social information. Testing positive for SNP RS1042173, genotype GG, affects the SLC6A4 gene so that the brain will cause your body to crave alcohol more. Another SNP that plays into alcohol dependence is RS2232165, genotype CT or TT. This SNP increases the risk of developing alcoholism. If you test positive for either of these SNPs, you have the option to avoid becoming alcohol dependent by refraining from drinking alcohol.
Learning of one's own alcoholic susceptibilities may not imply that those same dispositions exist in the next generation. Although alcoholism can be inherited, environmental factors like stress, upbringing, social environment have a large effect on whether or not someone will experience the severity of those symptoms. Testing for the effects of the SLC4A6 gene by those with the variation RS1042173 TT would only be beneficial to those with Caucasian and Hispanic descent because of the lack of testing diversity. There can be multiple factors that contribute to the occurrence of a gene. For example, within the Hispanic community, the drinking intensity shown by the SLC4A6 gene could be due to the lower levels of the 5-HTT expression, which leads to dangerous drinking habits as well.
Testing positive for a genetic disease can have extreme consequences in one's life. When someone tests positive for a genetic disease, health and life insurance companies and employers may discriminate against the affected individual, leading to financial hardships. A common concern today is that lack of genetic privacy will result in this type of genetic discrimination. However, our company guarantees privacy of our customers' genetic information. Many emotional consequences can also occur as a result of testing positive. For instance, couples may decide to not have children if they discover the presence of a harmful genetic variation. While getting genetic testing can be beneficial because we can possibly treat a disease early, it can also be emotionally and mentally challenging if we discover that we have a disease with no cure or treatment options.
If you have any further questions, please visit our website at www.thisisnotascam.com. Thank you for watching.